Let's take a look at the dynamics of policymaking in the United States. Governmental power and authority in America are, by design, highly fragmented. The framers of the Constitution feared nothing as much as excessive concentrations of power. Therefore, they did all they could to divide power among the different branches of the national government, and they gave each branch various means of checking the power of the other two. This horizontal division of power is called checks and balances. The division of power places bureaucracy in the United States in a very different position from the one it occupies in many other countries who have adopted parliamentary systems. Checks and balances are a governing principle that creates overlapping and interlocking functions among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. These include the president's power to veto an act of Congress, Congress's power to override a presidential veto by a two-thirds majority vote, and the Senate's power to confirm or reject presidential appointments to the executive and judicial positions, and the power of the courts to determine the constitutionality of the actions of the other branches. There is little question in parliamentary forms of government about how, by whom, and through what channels authority is exercised. In parliamentary governments, the chief executive and top-level ministries are themselves members of the legislature. Parliamentary government is practiced in most democratic nations, and the chief executive, the prime minister or premier, is usually the leader of the majority party in the legislature or the parliament. In this situation, bureaucratic responsiveness to the chief executive and to the legislature are one and the same thing. Because power is scattered, the making of public policy in the United States lacks centralization and produces a great deal of slack in the decision-making system. In the absence of tight legislative or executive control, there are many opportunities for lower-ranking executives to affect implementation of the law. Related statutory language is often broad or even vague. It follows that there are many power vacuums throughout the decision-making process. This is the basis of some conflict between members of the executive and the legislative branches. Interest groups and bureaucratic agencies compete for increments of power to determine policy areas of greatest concern for them. The policy-making process is also broken into many parts, and responsibility for each component is determined by a combination of factors. It's not uncommon for public administrators to become significant players in the political game and to take initiative and influence the long-term development of policies, especially in specific programs under their jurisdiction. Thus, bureaucracy in American government differs from traditional notions of bureaucracy. It functions in a system in which accountability is enforced through multiple channels as the result of fragmentation of higher political authority.